This episode is sponsored by Parpel. Need a new headlight or taillight? Visit theparpel.com and enter your vehicle information, select the part you need, and schedule an appointment at a local nearby shop. It's that easy. To make the offer even sweeter, we're throwing in 10% off your first order with code WELCOME. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we do. Now, back to the podcast.
All right, hello everyone. March 28th, Thursday, as always. Got a lot to get into. Been like a week, I think, since we taped. Was it Thursday last time? Yeah.
Last Wednesday.
Taped last Wednesday, released on Thursday. Lots happened since then. First two rounds of March Madness are concluded. Some betting scandals going on across the sports world. We have opening day of baseball today. By the time this releases, there's going to be games that have started. Hopefully be out before the March Madness games start, the Sweet 16. So we'll give a little insight onto how we think that's going to go, because we haven't really talked seriously about March Madness. I think we kind of touched upon it for 5 minutes at the end of our mascot bracket, which is not doing too hot. So yeah, we're going to do some March Madness stuff today. A lot of big news going around the NFL with regards to rule changes, a lot of stuff that has been in the works for a while. So yeah, let's get into it. Do you have something to start us off with there? I can't remember if we determined that or not.
Yeah, so just gonna run through it real quick. No real hypothetical, just a broad question. What was your favorite Call of Duty Zombies?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've always said this could be pure nostalgia on my part, but I've always been a Black Ops 1 guy. However, that's my favorite, but I think the best was Black Ops 3. So I have to put Black Ops 2 third, which I know is going to be a really unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I would probably have to say BO2 would be my number one, just because, once again, I feel like it's very subjective. That was my first zombies that I really bought in and played a crap ton of. So I'm kind of surprised to hear that that's third on your list. I feel like that'll be disagreed upon, but
big time.
yeah,
probably overwhelmingly.
I would think so. I would say I go, if we're doing top three, I go BO2 1, BO2 number one, and then I would go probably BO3 second, and then I'd have to think about my third, but I'll slot BO1 in there for now.
I'm taking a different approach. I think BO2 is probably my favorite too, but mine's for a different reason. I love Transit. That's an unpopular opinion.
Okay,
but I love Transit.
No, the Transit love has grown in the recent years, but I think that's stupid. I hate that map actually with a passion, to be honest with you.
It's every map though.
And I've done that Easter egg with the fucking electric guy. That shit sucks, dude. No. And that is the most frustrating Easter egg I think to complete.
But dude, just the nostalgia for me for the bus leaving and you're stuck at the gas station and all your boys are just laughing as you're
and then you got to run through the fog.
And there's those things. You just gotta keep knifing, just spamming your right stick. This knife. There's something about that. But my number two, probably OG World at War. I love that one with the presidents. That was fun.
No, the presidents were in Black Ops 1.
Oh yeah, Black Ops 1. World at War OG was was my number two. Then BO1.
Nocturne Toten. That's the first, because you finish a campaign and then you just start in this new game mode and it's terrifying.
Dude, the old zombie noises used to be horrifying.
Yeah, those were freaky.
Zombies was a horror game back then for sure.
Yeah.
And then kind of by Black Ops 1, it kind of lost that
It lightened up a little bit, yeah. But World at War gave me, I think that one is definitely up there for me. And then to round it out, it would be BO1 with the presidents.
Jack, what do you got? You have an opinion on this?
I'm not really a Black Ops guy, but if I would say Black Ops 3 because that was probably the one I just played the most.
Well, you were a god in Black Ops 3 with all the gobblegums and stuff. It was actually kind of hard to lose.
Yeah.
Oh, and you is this what your doctor's appointment was about? You sound a little stuffy today.
I'm hella stuffed up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Dude, pollen in Tampa lately has been
it's
brutal.
been bad.
Yeah, when did that all start for you?
Dude, 2 weeks ago maybe.
Every other day for me.
I'm sleeping vertical. If I have any
nasal drip.
Yeah, anything, I'm toast. I'm mouth breathing hella. So, yeah, if you hear that come through, that's my bad.
Yeah,
for
dude,
sure.
my nose too. I have days where I'm fine, yesterday, and then today I was fine this morning, and then like it just hits me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
When we got back from spring break, my car was green.
Yeah.
It was
it's
literally
bad.
green. I need a car
Yeah.
wash terribly.
Like I think on a daily basis, I could fill up a normal size water bottle that you'd buy at the store with my mucus that I blow out of my
It's
Thank
nose.
you.
nasty.
Thank
It's
you
a
for
nasty
sharing that.
visual.
You're
Dude,
welcome.
I had strep our sophomore year, and I like could not swallow because I like my tonsils were like so inflamed, and I literally like, had to have like a spitter just for spit.
Yeah.
Keegan walks into my room one day. He goes, "You dipping?" I'm like, "No, but I'm sick."
Last semester, I had the flu that led immediately into strep throat. I think
Dude,
it was my
that's
least
awful.
favorite sickness of all time.
Oh, dude, when you get strep bad, it's bad.
It's so bad.
And I was like, I had to call out of work one day because of the flu, and it was a Friday, so I go into work like whatever the next day after I started feeling a little bit better, and my boss was like, "Oh yeah, college kid calling out on a Friday night." I was like, "Well, I texted you at 5 a.m. because I had full body chills and an entire fever." I was like, "And now I have strep throat," and then I was late because I was at the doctor one day getting antibiotics.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Why are you late?" I was like, "Because I'm sick. Like I told you." Like I don't know. That shit pissed me off. I quit that job.
Corporate America, man.
Yeah, man.
Corporate America is a fucking surf shop. Anyway, enough of this mucus chatter. Let's get into March Madness. Been a fairly chalk March Madness to this point. Not many upsets. What do we have? One double-digit seed in the Sweet 16?
Yeah,
Yeah.
North Carolina State.
Dude, I love them. I love that big dude on there, too.
Big Pookie.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He's a dog.
That's a team full of dogs. Who they got?
They're literally
the
a
Sweet
wolf
16?
pack.
Yeah,
They're playing
you're right.
no,
Sweet
that's UNC.
16, we got
Marquette.
number 6 Clemson taking on number 2 Arizona. Let me make sure I can
It's
read.
5 San Diego.
5 San Diego State. Number 1
Natty
UConn.
rematch.
4 Alabama. 1 North Carolina. And then number 3 Illinois. Number 2 Iowa State.
First time Illinois made it past the first week since 2005.
Yeah.
Those are the games for Thursday, yeah?
Thursday. Yep.
Okay.
Dude, Clemson has actually came out of
Then
nowhere.
Friday
Yeah.
we've got NC State, Big Pookie taking on Marquette. They were actually supposed to be They were the most bet on high seed to get upset, I believe, was Marquette, and they've made it this far. So, number 1 Purdue, Zach against Gonzaga. Then we got Duke taking on Houston. It's my pick to win it all right there. And then Tennessee, Creighton rounding out the Sweet 16 for us.
Dude, for Gonzaga, I mean, I know I was obviously on the McNeese train, and that was a really big mistake on my part.
Yeah, we need to go down that.
I'd rather not.
We need to talk about that.
This will easily go over an hour if we start talking about how Sean has been riding McNeese.
It's going to be an hour of berating me. I was sitting at a restaurant, like looking at the text you guys were sending me watching this game. I didn't want to come home. I think you actually texted Ara. You were like, "Don't come home, and if you do, go right to your room." But Gonzaga, Mark Few is probably the greatest coach of all time at just winning a few games in the tournament.
Yeah.
I think they have the most tournament wins
Yeah, dude.
without winning a national title.
And they've been going deep lately too.
Mhm.
And this is like not a great Gonzaga team, but like none of college basketball is great.
Yeah.
That-
What, they lost to Baylor?
Yeah, and they
Few
also
years
lost
back?
to St. Mary's in the WAC championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said this year, this year would be the year that Gonzaga goes and makes a run because they're a 5 seed and nobody expects them to do anything.
Dude, this is what I thought
Especially
about Kentucky.
coming off Drew Timmy's senior year. Like they just lost a bunch of like senior guys. I was like, this is the year that people like underestimate them and they go do something.
That was what I thought about Kentucky basketball,
And then Jack Golke
then
happened.
dude,
Yeah.
my dad 1 year alum, Oakland, got in their
There you go.
way.
Congrats, Ed.
Yeah, I took Oakland because I knew my boy Jack Golke was about to just
Yeah,
drain threes.
we went 10 for 19.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I mean, Calipari's been catching a lot of heat, too.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot about that. I think a lot of it's fair, honestly. Like,
Someone just hit 10 threes on you. Like, come on. That's like a once in a blue moon type
yeah,
of
but then, like,
event.
Yeah, but
the
you went
year
to St.
bef-
Peter's
thank
2
you.
years ago.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I'll give you that. But I'm just saying, like, this, like, I would say is less of his fault just because, like, the kid had a hot hand. St. Peter's is definitely his fault. He just definitely did not coach his team well enough.
But that's all he does. I was listening to him on. It might have been part of my take. They asked him. They were like, "Do you even practice 2-pointers anymore?" And he was like, "Not really. No. He just shoots threes. That's his entire thing."
Golke, yeah.
He had 2 how many 2-point attempts going into
Like 8.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And like almost 400 threes. So you knew that was going to happen.
But it's like 10 for 19. That's still 50%. I would not think that.
No, he shot the absolute threads out of the ball.
And it's like some of those threes that he was making were just like otherworldly.
Insane,
Like,
dude.
I think the argument against Calipari, though, is that he has arguably had the greatest, when you look back on it now from a historical perspective, he's had probably the greatest collection of talent in terms of what his players ended up becoming
Yeah, they
in
don't
the
win.
NBA and stuff like that compared to any other program, and he has one title to show for
Yeah,
it.
they don't.
Well, that's what he is, though. Not to take anything away from him, he's a great coach, but he's more of a recruiter than a coach almost.
Agreed.
And I think this transfer portal is kind of really fucked up what his model essentially.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like him and Dabo Sweeney are identical.
Yeah.
Like, they don't adapt to like the game.
And just big recruiters.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
go
they-
get the best guys. And
Yeah.
Well-
like, Clemson's like less than that. Like I'd say Dabo's a better like X's and O's guy on football wise compared to like Cal, but like they both don't kind of like put like the transfer portal is college sports now. Like that's just the fact. Like by not adjusting to the transfer portal, like these teams get better overnight.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that like his whole motto is built around the fact that like you come to me, I get you to the NBA as fast as you
Yeah.
can. Like that's how it is. He's like, this is a business. You're not here ultimately to be the greatest college basketball player. This is a revolving door. You come in, you go out the other side, which is the NBA as fast as you can.
yeah, well, and before the NBA had a lot of those restrictions on how many years you can play in college before you go. Kentucky was notorious for just one and done kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Anthony Davis, all those guys.
keep going. Yeah,
But that's the thing. Like, Calipari always puts out freshman-loaded team in a tournament that is not built for a freshman-loaded
No.
team. That's why the transfer portal and all these guys that you see coming from a mid-major to, like, a bigger school. Even take, like, Brady Manick when he went, Oklahoma to, like, UNC. Like, that's a guy that they needed for them to, like, go and, like, lead. Like, to go match up. Like, they don't have any of those guys.
What's like North Carolina? Cormac Ryan was at Stanford,
Yeah.
transferred to Notre Dame, then after that transferred to North Carolina. Like, dude got 3 degrees from Stanford, Notre Dame, North Carolina. It's not bad.
he should be able to find employment.
Yeah.
I think.
If Calipari wants to win a national title, he needs to change. And, like, yeah, you can go bring in the 5 stars, but you also need to go into the recruiting and go, like, the transfer portal
You need
and
to bring
go
some
get
senior
that
leadership.
senior leadership. They don't have to be the best player, but they have to be a clutch player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause,
and then
like,
sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say that Kentucky. I forgot the dude's name. Reeves. Watched a lot of basketball this past weekend. Reeves. He's going to be like the top 5 pick in the draft. The white guy.
Yeah.
Austin?
Yeah. No. Yeah. But like he was a no-show in the Oakland game, and it's like that's like that moment in March Madness is huge, and like I know it's not a good look considering he's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft, but like you need some like senior stability or like at least some
For sure.
experience.
And that's kind of pivoting over to a team that I think has done it right for the past few years is UConn. They're
Yeah.
kind of having a similar run to what they had last year. And I will say Purdue has answered the call as well because they're just going out and dominating as well.
Yeah, you see UConn. I like that you said that because, like, you see, like, Jordan Hawkins, like, lotto pick last year.
Yeah.
Left, and they still have seniors there.
Exactly.
And they brought in young, new freshmen. Like, that's what Calipari needs to do.
Danny Hurley also is like he gets it out of the guys, you
Yeah,
know.
he does.
as
So he
opposed
lights
to
a fire
Cal.
under their ass.
You don't
I mean,
think
for sure.
Calipari does that, though? Like, have you heard the
No.
Boogie Cousins stories?
Well, like, I think I don't think he gets out of it like Hurley does. Like
But
Hurley gets the most out of his guys. Hurley's not losing to Oakland.
yeah, that's also
Yeah.
too like Boogie Cousins was over a decade ago at this point. I
Yeah,
mean,
that is true.
Calipari and Kentucky, the entire college basketball landscape has changed so much since then, as well as Calipari and the product of Kentucky basketball at this point.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that Jack Golke made 10 threes. And, you know, another Jack in college basketball world, Jack Taylor from Grinnell College when he put up 109 points. you
Yeah,
know?
that was crazy.
You know, point of the story is Jacks are just elite.
Is he the same guy? Who was the dude? Was he the one in D2 that also put up like some guy put up like 130, didn't he?
I
no.
don't know.
I don't know.
That might have been like D3 a
Yeah,
while back.
Grinnell was D3, and that was like
Yeah.
when we were like 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a long time.
That was
ago.
like 10 years ago. But Grinnell, like Jacks, just they know how to shoot. White Jacks, buckets.
The other game, I mean, looking at some of the scores, like we said, this feels like years ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, we sat in the living room for about 12 hours on Friday.
And Thursday, I sat there as well.
Yeah.
But Colorado State, Texas was the worst basketball game I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, but I think everyone could have called that the way. Who did they play? Virginia?
Yeah,
the way Virginia played, everyone knew that Colorado State was getting blown out of the water.
But it was like, I remember like, it was like 11. The Colorado State 11 points at halftime.
And then on the opposite end of that spectrum, that Houston A&M game was peak March.
Yeah,
A&M should have won.
Oh,
A&M should have won.
And then my one from two things left from Thursday: Nevada, Dayton, Nevada.
Nevada all
The
way.
Mountain West fools us every year. They get all these teams in, and up 17 with 8 minutes left or 7 minutes. And
That was ridiculous.
Lose.
Yeah.
And then
everyone's all over New Mexico State.
yeah. And then Kansas getting the call against Samford, which was bad.
And then
then turning around and getting smoked.
What did Bill Self say after that loss? He was like, honestly, for the past few weeks, I've just been looking
Thinking
for
about
next year. Yeah,
But like Bill Self, he's a legendary coach, and people hate Kansas, but I like him so much as he's such an honest guy. He's almost too brutally honest about his circumstances.
This goes back to what we talked about a couple months ago with the Lions and Dan Campbell's honesty.
Yeah, no, I agree. But but it's like Bill Self knows he's gonna be back.
Oh yeah.
Does he have a lifetime deal?
No, that's Cal.
Yeah.
I know Cal had
Cal's
one.
got
They
a
were
$30
talking
million
about it. But,
buyout.
I mean, I still.
I feel like you should go buy that out.
I mean, I feel like Bill Self deserves a lifetime contract.
Yeah, he does.
But
Definitely
it does kind of feel like next year. Obviously, we're looking very far ahead, but next year just feels like a Kansas year.
I just love the memes too about Hunter Dickinson, where it's like Hunter Dickinson entered the transfer portal drawing a bunch of interest from LinkedIn, McDonald's, stuff like that. Dude, I hate Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah.
But
Hunter
I think,
Dickinson set the record for the tallest McDonald's manager.
I think I saw something the other day. I don't know if this was real or not. It could have just been a lookalike, but it was like Blake Griffin is now a manager at Costco or something
I
like that.
saw that.
Right.
Was that actually him?
I think it was it looked.
It
pretty
looked a
close
lot
to
like
him.
him.
There's no
It
shot.
looked.
dude, I feel like he would be a guy to do something like that.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
feel
I'm
like that
saying.
would be Blake. You don't have anything else to go get a job. You don't need the money.
He just wants to go be a
buy
regular guy for a
time
little
and-
bit.
Yeah, he's just stocking shelves.
I don't
Well,
blame
too
him.
bad, dude. You're 6'10", 280 pounds.
Well,
You're
that's
not
why
going to
he's
be a
just-
regular
That's why
guy.
he's stocking shelves. They don't need a ladder when he's there.
That's fair.
Well, he was doing the free samples apparently. But I know I agree. If regardless of what we think, I would love to be retired today. I know it's never gonna happen if I at all. But you can only play so many rounds of golf before you're all right.
Yeah.
What else do I do with my day?
Yeah, I mean at this point, what Blake's made over $100 million.
Okay, let me go.
Easy.
Let me go manage a Costco.
Why not?
Dude, he can just go
Go
say,
hand out free samples.
"Let me go make $100 a day and just use that and gamble."
Yeah.
Or something,
Gamble. Buy golf stuff.
Yeah, buy golf stuff.
So, yeah, I mean, Sweet 16. I would assume this is probably when we're going to start to see shakeups, but also this could just be one of those years where
We get
you've
chalk.
got
Can I
3 1 seeds in the Final Four.
Can I ask, what do you guys think about Clemson? Because nobody knows. Everyone assumed Clemson was out first round, and now they're in the Sweet 16.
The
and
ACC has
You're
been
looking
awesome.
at them at what, a 6 seed, and you're going,
Yeah.
how are they here?
It's just one of those things too, because it's Clemson,
Yeah, Clemson's not a basketball school.
No.
They did not play well at times this year, and yet they still got here.
But dude, the ACC or I think they're 6-1 or something like that, or 7-1. They're just it's people talk shit about the ACC and
Every
then
year.
the ACC comes in
And every year they give you 4 teams that
Yeah.
win a game in March.
Historically, they are the best basketball.
I was going to say, we forget that the ACC for a very long time has been the pinnacle of college basketball.
Yes.
Who would you say it is right now? Because I feel like
The ACC.
It's got to
It's
still
still
be
the
ACC.
ACC?
Yeah.
They have-
I feel like the Big 12 is the best basketball conference, but
Yeah, but
top to bottom, I'm saying.
postseason success.
Yeah, I'm just saying top to bottom, it's probably the Big 12.
It also does help for the ACC when you have Duke and
North Carolina.
UNC in there as well.
yeah.
For sure, but I mean, look at our boys in NC State. Shout out.
ACC, yes,
Their
sir.
ACC love, Clemson ACC love.
And then you got, I think the Big East and the ACC are probably the best two. Well, like obviously this year.
Outside of
what about the
Marquette,
SEC?
though?
The has been having a lot of teams recently.
The
They're
SEC.
good.
Well,
They play good basketball,
They
but I
play
don't.
good basketball, not in the tournament though.
That's because Bama and Tennessee, as of late, have
Yeah.
been contenders as well.
At least
This is
Florida's
bad.
always.
But
been
that's a good
Yeah.
thing. That's a good thing for the SEC. You know, bringing a little bit more basketball hype into their conference.
Yeah.
Whatever sells tickets, it just means more. You know.
I mean, Bama's a really fun team to watch.
They're-
I like Nate Oates a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like Nate Oates at all.
Well, I mean, we could, talk about his off the court antics, but
Yeah.
I think game to watch in the Sweet 16, obviously, is going to be Duke and Houston. That's like an easy pick right there. But I think the sleeper game is going to be NC State and Marquette. I think I'm still not on the Marquette hype train yet. I've watched every game they've played, or I should say both games they've played so far. You could argue they should have lost to Colorado.
I'm not making that argument.
I think you can definitely make that argument. Couple careless turnovers late by Colorado pretty much cost them the
Colorado
game.
shouldn't have even won their first game. They
Well,
shot.
they did.
They shot
They did.
33 free throws against Florida.
They did, but they did. They won that game, and then they also had a great shot, an above average shot to beat Marquette. I think they lost that game. Marquette did not win that
I
game.
do think it's going to be interesting to see, too, with the way Marquette struggled against Eddie Lampkin, and now they
Yes.
got to go
Big
against
dog.
Big Pookie.
Big Pookie.
I think Eddie Lampkin's got a little bit more bag than.
I don't know, dude.
Listen,
Big
Big
Pookie around the
Pookie
rim.
moved on. Eddie Lampkin did not, and I love Eddie Lampkin.
Big Pookie around the rim, man. He is something special to
He's a
watch.
great
With that
passer.
left hand right there. He can get anywhere between 12 to 2 feet around the rim, and that dude's a bucket.
Can I just say this? Eddie Lampkin, I think, shot in the 60s for free throw percentage. He was either 100% or pretty damn close to 100% on the free throw line in clutch situations for NC State.
Yeah.
That's what you need in
DJ
basketball.
Burns, not Eddie Lampkin.
I'm giving
Sorry,
NC
yeah,
State.
you're right.
What's
DJ
the line
Burns.
right now? The line's 6.5.
Same with Zach Edey's. Edey did too. Edey's a terrible free throw shooter.
I'm giving
but in the
NC
clutch,
State
he made all
a
his shots.
60% chance on the upset of Marquette.
Wow.
Dude,
I'm very
I think
confident.
you're disrespecting Marquette.
I'm taking
I think
NC
the
State.
style of
NC State
basketball
money
that they
line.
play is going to help them. Very physical, right? But they have some skilled and quick guards around the perimeter. I think it's going to put Marquette to the test. That's going to be my upset pick.
If I'm
Sweet
taking
16.
an upset, I would either go no one on the first. I think Illinois.
I don't call that an upset because it's a 2-3 seed.
But Gonzaga.
Yeah, I was thinking about Gonzaga as
Yeah.
well. I also feel like everyone's just waiting for Purdue to fall off a cliff.
And it's
I
going
feel
to
like they've
happen.
been waiting for it since the first round.
It's going to happen.
I feel like
could.
the two teams too are Creighton and Tennessee. Those are two teams everyone's like, when are they going to drop?
If
yeah.
Purdue goes on a run here and wins the national title, do you think
I'll cut my finger
do you think
off.
we start seeing a pattern where one seeds will maybe intentionally drop to a 16 seed just so that way they have an automatic national championship the next year?
Yeah.
No, I don't think those kids can handle that embarrassment.
Just saying.
I think we would have to have if Purdue wins this year, we'd have to have a serious conversation on where Zach Edey is in terms of greatest college basketball player of all time.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
disagree.
Who would
have
you
to
say
be
it is?
He'll be a really
Right
good G
now.
League player after, but
He's not. I don't even know if he's going to be in the G League.
Player.
He'll be a Bobon.
He's going to be overseas. He's going to be
I
in
would
Turkey.
think off the top
He's
of
still
my
making
head,
a bag though.
Zach Edey has to get at least top 10, top 8 consideration of greatest basketball players.
I'll
ever.
say top
I
10.
disagree.
I'll say top 10 since 2000.
I mean,
I'd have to look deeper into that.
If he wins,
and
He's
also
gotta
if he
win a
continues
national
putting up these numbers too. I mean, he's on a
He's like
ridiculous run right now.
7'5".
Yeah, but you can't
They
take-
can't. They don't officiate against him. Like,
Yeah, but people didn't discount Ralph Sampson because he was 7'3".
no. But I don't. How many free throws a game was Ralph Sampson taking?
I have no idea.
Dude,
What about Kareem?
If
They
you watch
banned
Zach
dunking.
Edey and don't get upset watching him play basketball, then I don't know what to tell you.
But I mean,
No.
what else are you gonna do? Like, he is 7'5". You're gonna foul him, especially a lot of these
But
teams.
like, he just gets pampered, and it's just so. It's like embarrassing to watch. Like, it's like an official's never seen a guy tall play basketball.
But that's just how college basketball is. Those tall, like, unathletic guys who have good fundamentals who can dominate.
He doesn't even have good fundamentals. He gets the ball, and he goes one. If he's more,
All
if
he
he's
needs
not
is
on
a-
the- if he's not on the block, he doesn't even look at the basket.
Well,
He
that's,
definitely-
that's all he needs in college. All he needs is a drop step.
Yes.
he doesn't have much
That's
of a
all he
bag.
needs.
But
Like,
All he needs is to be able to go over
But then to
both
say
shoulders,
that,
and that's it.
To say
Yeah,
that
if
he's
he's finally
to
sound
say that
aware
he's a
early.
top 10 greatest college basketball player when all he has is a drop step.
But
listen, look up his career stats. If he does all that just based off a drop step.
How old is he?
22.
No,
I'm just saying
21?
his career numbers lend himself a case into the top 10 of greatest college basketball players.
I have to agree.
21, been playing for 4 years.
I have to agree
So
with
a
you
normal
on-
college student. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
big deal.
you could say what you want about his lack of a bag, but one thing is he has very soft touch around the rim.
Yes.
So
I would have not came on the pod today if I knew we were going to slurp off Zach Edey.
All right, come on now.
You can't tell me he's a bad basketball.
Nobody's
I'm not
out
saying
here.
he's a bad basketball player.
We're not doing tricks on
I'm
it,
not
dude.
saying-
It's just
I'm not
the
sa-
numbers speak for
I'm
themselves.
not saying that
Like,
he is a
shit,
top 10 basketball
he's
player.
7'5". Like, there's nothing we can do
In
about
college.
it. Oh,
Why
well.
can't you acknowledge the fact that he has
The amount of
amazing
good,
numbers,
the
like
great-
all-time
the
numbers?
great basketball players we've seen play college basketball. We're going to put Zach Edey in the top 10.
doesn't matter. But his numbers. That's all.
For an entire
nobody's
career,
slurping him off. All we're
obviously
saying is-
talent-wise, he's not up there. But we're saying an entire college basketball career,
Thank
Zach
you.
Edey should have a consideration of being in there. Like, yeah,
Do you-
obviously Zion one and done, AD one and done, John Wall one and done. All these high athletic people coming through don't count because they played one season. It's a college career.
Yes.
Dude, I'm just not in on that.
Like, it's like a J.J. Redick, Grayson Allen, like, long guys who have.
Then you just
Been
named
big.
2 people right there that are better top 10.
Okay,
in my
Grayson
eyes, over.
Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Yes.
No.
Was a way
That
better
is
basketball
so
player than Zach
ridiculous.
Edey. Yes.
Career
Career,
accomplishment.
yes.
How many
Career
years did Grayson Allen
That's not
play
even-
at Duke?
Somebody
4?
Somebody
Yes.
pull up the numbers. Get the
4
numbers
years
for
at
Grayson
Duke.
Allen.
I'm saying a 4-year basketball career. Grayson Allen
That's
is a
ridiculous.
solid basketball player on the Phoenix Suns because he has 3 lights-out shooters.
That's so ridiculous.
Grayson Allen played 4 years.
21.
Who
drafted
cares about
21st.
that? Zach Edey's numbers are like.
Dude, because the whole offense is pass the ball to Zach Edey.
That's not his fault. Why are you holding
Bro,
it against the
I'm
guy
not-
though?
Wait. Pass the ball to your best player?
Yeah.
So you're telling me
Why is that
Tatum
his
shouldn't get
fault?
the ball, LeBron shouldn't get the ball, and Embiid shouldn't get the ball,
That is
and
a very
Jokic shouldn't
different
get the
dude.
ball?
I don't know how we can sit here and be like, dude,
How is
Zach
that different?
Edey is-
Your best player
Dude.
gets the ball.
Watch him play the fucking game, dude. It's not bad. It's like, great, dude, you're tall. I get it. Like he is a good basketball player. He finishes
some,
around
like,
the win, around the rim.
Deep-seated hatred.
That's all we said he needs to do.
in terms of era.
Finish
and-
around.
I'm
Aaron
just saying.
Allen, Zach
I'm
Edey.
not going to
Like,
sit here and
it is
say
deep.
he's a top 10 college basketball player of all
If he wins
time.
the national championship,
He's not going to, dude.
We're-
It's Purdue.
we
They
are just
lose
making-
every year.
hypothetical.
He's not.
Hypothetical.
I'm not even thinking about
It's
it. They're going to lose.
Listen,
We can-
buddy.
All right,
Listen,
Gonzaga
buddy.
money line
Listen,
for Friday
buddy.
night.
Listen, I'm
For your
taking
sake-
Gonzaga minus 20 and a half. Let's
Listen,
go.
buddy. I hope for your sake that Purdue does not win a national
If
title.
they do, I'm cutting my
'Cause
finger
we're gonna have
off.
an APB out for Aaron.
You got to
Knapp.
cut your finger off live on pod. What finger do you want to lose?
I'd probably a pinky.
All
Take
right.
the middle, because
Left pinky.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thi-
that
all right.
will be the day.
It is official on the record. Aaron Ab's left pinky
They're
is
not
on the
winning a
line.
national title, dude. It's Purdue.
Oh my.
can we
God.
get Hewlin in here just to say there's no way Purdue doesn't
What
win
if-
a national
What if we
title?
buy you a Zach Edey jersey
I-
if they win?
We
Yeah,
could
and you
literally-
have to wear it.
I would wear it, and
You have
then
to-
we
you-
could return
no,
it
no,
right
no.
after that.
Hold up. No. You have to be sketch. You have to be sketch and wear it every day to class until you graduate.
All right. I'm not
So that's
worried
a
about
month.
that.
I
You
think we
also
need
have
to
to
make
wear
some
it
sort of
underneath
bet
your
here for
graduation
sure.
gown.
I think Era's worst fear is having people think on
You have
campus
to-
that
you
he's a
have to
Zach
wear-
Edey fan.
That is.
The national championship's on April 4th.
I'd rather wear a Philadelphia Eagles jersey than wear a
Okay,
fucking
I will
Zach
take that
Edey-
bet.
I wear a
Hey,
Zach
no,
Edey
no,
Purdue
no,
jersey.
No. The line here is a Zach Edey jersey. That's what it
Yes.
is.
I'm
if
sorry.
Purdue wins a national championship, you have to rock a Zach Edey jersey.
You don't
I-
want to
I
see
will.
him
For
in
a
an
week.
Eagles jersey?
I will.
A
Yeah,
week
for a
For a
straight.
week.
The following week after they win.
I will.
All right.
I will buy
on
a
record.
I will buy a Purdue basketball jersey if they go.
No.
if
No,
they
Zach
win.
Zach
Edey jersey.
That's how it's a Purdue basketball. Jersey.
We might
No,
just have to
Zach
order
Edey.
it
I'll have
now
to-
just
I'll
in
be
case.
I'll DHgate it. I'm
Yeah.
not buying a real one.
With that DH game.
if
shipping
the
time.
money of NIL goes to Zach Edey from buying a Zach Edey jersey, I'm buying a fake one.
Now you're just preying on his downfall. dude. Like
I-
this doesn't even have anything to do with
I
basketball
talked shit
anymore.
about him last pod and this pod.
Zach
I'm-
Edey's just trying to make a bag, and you're not helping.
I don't care. I'm
Do you
not.
not
I'm not contributing to Zach Edey's bag.
Do you also not like small business owners?
I do. He's not a small
you
business
sure?
owner.
He's not small.
He's just
by
a
any
fucking
means.
tall
business for
motherfucker
sure.
that gets fouled every time he's around the block.
All right. Any final thoughts on March Madness before we move on? Obviously, I think UConn is still my heavy favorite.
Yeah.
Michigan State losing was an absolute piece of shit.
Dude, Michigan State was not that good.
Dude,
Michigan State had 3 quad
Michigan
one
State
wins all
should have
year.
wiped the floor with North Carolina, and everybody
What is
knows
that
it.
statement?
Yeah, what?
Michigan State losing was an absolute piece of shit.
We all know that
Nebraska had a nice
North
run.
Carolina should have lost.
It's that GoCo. It's GoCo.
Kelsey Tominga. Yeah, we haven't addressed the Gloco over there. It's 12:36 on a Wednesday.
I just knocked it over for those who. I'm not drunk. I'm just stupid.
Wisconsin was an absolute no-show.
Yeah.
St. Mary's has 5 white guys on the court, and they suck because they can't play fast.
That's St. Mary's every year.
Yeah.
It's just let's throw out all these white boys.
Actually, did you see, back to Tominga, did you see our fellow podcasters, work a little bit bigger than them, so you may not have heard of them, the Pat McAfee show. Did you see how they described Tominga going back to Japan and killing himself
Was
in the ritualistic way of the samurai by impaling his sword through his chest?
I did not.
What is the term for that?
I don't
when
remember,
you
but
impale
it's
yourself?
because he brought great shame to the nation of Japan. And his
He's from
family.
America. He was born in Tennessee.
Yeah, no, it was a really racist bit. It was very racist bit. Pat McAfee the entire time just going, no, not true, no.
Dude,
I will say it was very funny though.
one of our friends said the same thing. Like, do you think like he learned bad? Like, dude, no, he's from America.
Yeah, he's from the States.
Do you think he's related to Yao?
All right, we're gonna.
All right, no, let's move on. Let's move on.
I hate
move on.
Zach Edey.
Okay.
NFL ban tackling.
Yeah, and dude, I'm always excited for football, but I'm less excited now after seeing that.
Can I just say something real quick?
I don't know, okay?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You might. Oh shit!
My whole mic just fell down.
You might be in timeout.
Technical difficulties.
All right, go on while he does this.
If I am tackling, if you're a defender and you tackle a defender and you just happen to take him down by the legs, like in a full speed moment, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just like how the game works out. I don't like that rule. Like, it's a rare occurrence that someone gets injured like that, like just by bringing him down by the legs.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean this rule has been talked about now for a while. I've only heard the term hip drop tackle probably in the last 2 to 3 years.
2 years, yeah.
And like
It just never existed before. That was a tackle.
So,
exactly.
Well, how are you supposed to tackle now? You have to hit him with your shoulder into like his midsection. That's the only way you can tackle because you can't go high, can't go low.
Well,
Like-
I heard Will Compton talking about this and how you're taught like all these this proper form tackling, and he said he made the point that you're expecting these perfect circumstances in an imperfect game.
It's a violent game.
Yeah.
Like you are expecting injuries. Like if you expect an injury, do not play.
And I understand. I've seen discourse all over Twitter and shit about this, and people are like, "Oh, well, you're just gonna sit there and watch the game with your $5 Bud Lights and sit on your couch and sit on your ass or whatever while these dudes are putting their body on the line." But even there's guys in the league right now, first off, who aren't happy with this. I know it's probably primarily defensive players, but they've been at the forefront of getting shafted by these rules for quite some time now. And with that, if the NFL really cared about their players, they wouldn't be playing these Thursday night games, right? They wouldn't have these
They
dudes
wouldn't have
coming in.
Wednesday Christmas Day games.
Exactly, and they would have fucking grass fields. I mean, I just feel like they're not listening to their players. Like the NFLPA, what do?
They talk about player health and safety, the NFL side, not the PA side, and yet they're they don't do anything that's any of substantial change. And the NFLPA really has no power, whether you want to think so or not. Like the NFL really just listens to the NFLPA because they know that they need the players.
Yeah,
Like they'll do things here and there, but they will never give them the big ticket item that they want.
It's just an organization, I feel like, that exists so the NFL can be like, oh, look at this. We're listening to our players.
Yeah,
Our players have a voice and a platform. But then, I mean, you have...
That's just social media nowadays.
You
It's
have-
like, oh, look at us.
Yeah.
It's look at us, not what are we actually doing to make it better.
You have the World Cup coming to the United States in, 2 years? Is it 2026?
I think so. Something like that.
And all these artificial turf fields are going to be changed to grass because they actually care about their players. So if the NFL actually cared about their players, they would listen to their input. And is there, some freak injuries that happen on some weird-looking tackles, of course. But that is the game of football, unfortunately. That's what these guys sign up to play.
They said there was like 230-something like hip drop tackles quoted this season, and there are 15 injuries.
Yeah.
Dude, could you imagine 230 plays that we've seen get flagged for 15-yard penalties?
That is 6.52%.
I saw somebody. Good math, Jack. Good job
Thank
over
you.
there. You redeemed yourself, I think. I saw
boy.
somebody tweet about, like, imagine a 4th and 25 for the Chiefs with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Patrick Mahomes scrambles and gets hit with a phantom hip drop tackle 15 yards. Like,
Yeah.
that's unfortunately the world that we're about to enter.
We gotta stop making
Clip that now because that's exactly what's going to happen,
happen.
and that's how Mahomes becomes the Brady Tuck.
And I don't know who
and
tweeted
that's how
it,
his career
but
goes.
those aren't my words. I was regurgitating that.
We gotta stop making subjective calls for referees to make.
Exactly.
Like, I'm glad they did. Oh, that was the one we didn't think about earlier. They did the review thing where like the replay official can buzz down if like it's not a roughing the passer.
Yeah. That's
which is
good.
going to be good, but
Yeah.
it should be the same thing with the hip drop tackle.
Exactly.
But it's like,
But they also tried to do that with pass interference, and it just felt like officials were too stubborn to say that they made the wrong call. I mean, there was like 2 successful.
yeah, but this is like the replay official buzzes down like,
Yeah.
hey, pick that up.
Yeah.
Like Gene Stacherone or whatever his
Dude,
name is.
Gene's
Sterator.
everywhere.
Sterator.
Goated.
But on that point, dude, like, so with taking away like a hip drop tackle, like my 2 takeaways are like the tight end position is going to be getting knee injury after knee injury. You can't hit them high. You can't hit them. You can't swing them to the ground.
Yeah.
Dude, the tight end is like 265 pounds.
Running across the
Yeah.
middle of the field.
Yeah, like that's how like, and a defensive back is like sometimes in the high 100s, low 200s. Like, there's no way to take him down without going at his knees.
Yeah, this is what we've gotten to at this point. You can't hit them low because you're going to injure their knees. You can't hit them high because of head injuries. And now you can't defy the laws of physics when your momentum is dragging you one way. I don't know. Yes, obviously, does the NFL want to be safer, and does it suck to see injuries? Of course.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be catastrophic, at least for this year.
Yeah, I mean, I just think to kind of put a bow on what you guys are saying, we see time and time again, the NFL is just like simply a business. I mean, they have unlimited money. They have a collection of 30 of the wealthiest individuals in the country that own and operate these franchises. If they wanted quick fixes or to do right by the players like you were talking about with the field, they could get it done like that.
Exactly.
That's like a drop in the bucket. That's like one game for them, you know. They don't care about that. That's just not a priority for them. Number 2, I think the only way that there's any sort of change or a momentum swing in what we see is that people actually stop watching football over it, the fans like us.
And that's never going to happen.
That's not going to happen because it's America's sport. Everybody, you dedicate. The greatest thing about football is they marketed themselves to literally block out an entire day of your week on a calendar for you to do nothing else when you're supposed to be going to church. Instead, you watch football. That's what
By
they
the
were.
way,
That's what
happy
they were
Easter
able
if
to do. Yeah,
anybody
happy Easter,
celebrates
Good
it.
Friday coming up. I didn't mean any disrespect by that. I'm just simply saying.
You go to church in the morning, bro.
Yeah,
Unless there's a London game on.
I'll be
Owen
at
is
church.
going to
I will be at
church right
church
after
on
this.
Easter Sunday.
Unless there's an international game.
I'm just simply saying that they have marketed themselves and have built themselves to take a day out of your calendar to sit there and watch. You're not going to do away with that. So until we change and stop watching what's not going to happen, we're not going to see this momentum swing.
Yeah, I just
never gonna stop watching.
I think the biggest concern about all these rule changes for me and going into the next rule change that we're going to talk about is, like, how does everyone else, like, adapt to this? Because, like, the hip tackle and now the NFL kickoffs are being changed. What does college do? What does high school do? What does, like, Pee Wee football do? Because now you have to start teaching all these kids the new rules that, like, you never played with. Like, these coaches have never played with. Like, to these young kids, and now they got to learn it.
I don't think that they're gonna change.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, do they change? Do they not change? And then that's a big learning curve when you get to the NFL.
I think my take on the kickoff rule is, you know, the phrase I keep hearing is this change saves a dying play, essentially, because obviously with all these rule changes in the past few years, the kickoff has become very diluted, and it doesn't, you know, majority of the time you're just seeing a ball get kicked out the back of the end zone, and there's not a lot of opportunities for return. My thing about it is it looks lame. you look at it, you're like, this
But
looks
that's the
like
thing,
a lame play.
But think about like on the kickoff when like it's a touchback and say like they just scored, you have to go down, kick a field goal or a touchdown. You want that kickoff. You don't want to return that kickoff. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have no time come off that clock. And now if you're making it more like you have to come take that ball out, then you're just wasting time for the team.
If you kick it out of the back of the end zone, what is it, at the 35 or something?
Yeah.
Or the 30? Like, you're now... So you're not only hindering defenses in the way that they can defend and tackle players, but now you're hindering them by the average starting drive.
It's an extra 10 yards.
Exactly. It's not going to be at the 25
You're not going to kick
anymore.
it out of the end zone.
Well, no, you're not, but now you're giving these dudes an opportunity to return.
It's
They're
like-
probably going to get it. I mean, their blockers are starting at their own 30-yard
Yeah,
line.
I mean, think about Brandon Aubrey.
They have to turn around. Like, they're still going to be backpedaling. Dude, when they did it in the XFL, it looked like it was a clean play.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more exciting for the sport. Obviously, you're getting the more return, like, the return ability, which is fun. Like,
Yeah.
But as well, like, it adds skill for the kicker. Like, if you have a kicker that can constantly, have it land right, like, inside the 5 and then roll into the end zone for a touchback, like, that is going to be a huge advantage for a team.
It's definitely going to take more finesse kicking these days.
Yeah, I definitely like a guy like Brandon Aubrey who like everyone's like, oh, he kicked it out of bounds or like it was a touchback every single time this year. Like that guy who tries not to kick it into the end zone, he might fuck up and kick it 20 yards to the 20-yard line, and like there's a big play right there. Like just because he's trying not to put it into the end zone, like I think a lot of guys like a guy like Jake Elliott because I stand by this. I love Jake Elliott. I think he's one of the top 3 kicker in the NFL. A lot of bias there, but still. For some reason, he can never, for the past few years, he can never kick it into the end zone. If he can put that thing to the 5-yard line every time, Jake Elliott will be the perfect kicker for the new NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought of the kickoffs as one of the most exciting plays in football. And obviously this does bring some more life into it, like you said, Ara, with the returnability and everything. It's just for me, and this is obviously a very casual take, I just don't like the aesthetic of it. It doesn't look like football anymore.
You're just not used to
It's
it.
interesting
I know,
that
yeah.
you think of it as like an exciting play. When I think of it, I'm like, okay, kick it out of bounds, touchback, or like even like college football, kick it. Even if it's in play, they fair catch the ball. It's like a throwaway play.
Well, yeah, but it's become a throwaway play. Back 15 years ago, kickoffs were very exciting. I mean,
15 years ago, you were 7 years old.
Yeah, and they were awesome.
Yeah,
Devin
look
Hester
at-
was one of my favorite players.
Devin Hester, Jacoby Brissett, 2 guys that
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby
Jacoby
Jones.
Brissett, Jacoby Jones. Yo, Jacoby Brissett back out there taking the kickoff, returned it for the Ravens.
Put him
Jacoby
out there. That'd be
Jones.
interesting.
Jacoby Jones. Those 2 guys who would not have had a spot in the league if it wasn't for kickoffs.
Well, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, it's true, but
I think
game moves.
I'm with Era. The kickoff is when I go and take a piss or refill, get a new beer, or I'm not really paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know about you guys. When I watch my team, I don't miss kickoff. I don't miss a single
That's
snap.
cap.
I don't miss a single snap.
Okay, buddy.
We watched the Chiefs Eagles game.
That's different because I was gonna cry.
Was it?
That was different. That was different.
I watched more snaps of that game than you did.
I was
Yeah,
mad
there's
at
t-
you
there's
that day, Jay.
there- I had a lot of water in my eyes. Someone sprayed me with water.
But no, that's my take. Especially because after the last rule thing where they did the college rule where you could just fair catch the ball, there was no point of the play.
Yeah.
There literally was no point of the kickoff.
No, I know. It has been a slow death for the kickoff as we know
You
it.
might as well just give it to everybody at the 25-yard line. Just be everyone starts at the same
I like
spot.
the declaring. I'm glad they brought back the unbalanced line though for onside kicks.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because I think there was 2 onside recoveries this past season, and it's
well, you had to do something for the onside kick once you changed the kickoff.
you need a horseshoe up your ass if you're gonna get an
Yeah,
onside.
not
kick
everyone can
recovered.
do the Pat McAfee kick it and recover your own kick.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they're gonna do that one proposal where you can try. What is it, a 4th and 20 or something? for
The
an onside?
Ravens, yeah, but
Wasn't
I
that
think
an
it got,
Eagles?
no, the Ravens brought it up. It got shot down. That was last year, I think.
What was the big thing that
But that
the
should
Eagles
be
were big
it,
on?
dude. That would be so exciting.
The Eagles are big on. It was weird that they wanted to implement milliseconds onto the play clock.
Is that what they wanted?
Yeah.
I thought it was something. I couldn't remember. I thought it was something different.
Eagles thing.
It's a very odd thing. They also brought the number 0 into the NFL last year, so that was a cool thing
Yeah,
they did.
you got
We
to.
had one more millisecond.
We wouldn't have got to delay a game.
Yeah, and then the NBA is going to start doing that with the shot clock, and then we're just going to
Yeah.
get really screwed.
Well, the shot clock
The NBA
always
does
had-
do that.
Yeah, they've always
They do
had
milliseconds?
Oh, yeah, always.
.01.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I don't even look at the shot clock.
.1.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 0.1.
As soon as there's under 10 seconds in the NBA, I automatically say shoot the ball.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good to move on from that. Kind of get into probably some closing statements here.
Shohei.
Yeah, I mean Shohei. Jonte Porter.
You have A at the end of your name.
Yeah,
he's really the one that I wanted to touch upon. That's
Era.
So basically, I'll just run through the story. I'm sure most people know kind of what's going on, but Jonte Porter is essentially being benched due to investigation because of irregular prop betting on his lines.
Can you tell me who Jonte plays for, just for our young female audience?
Female?
Yeah.
The Raptors?
Okay.
Yeah,
He plays for the Toronto Raptors, if you would like to look it up.
I'm confused where we're going with this.
I was just calling out our great friends from the playground in Lemon.
Oh.
Grateful listeners.
Anyway, so yeah, there was increased betting interest in a game January 26th against the Clippers for Jonte Porter unders. So his lines were 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and a half a three. Porter played 4 minutes in that game before leaving due to an aggravated eye injury. Sounds a little suspect to me. Came back. DraftKings reported that the next day, the under on his three-pointers was the biggest money win for bettors of NBA player props on that evening. Has anybody ever considered taking a Jonte Porter
That's
prop?
what I was going to ask. Was that the first time that anybody ever bet on Jonte, and is that why it got flagged?
It could be. And then it happened again a few days later.
Because I would like to say I followed the NBA. I know the teams. I know Jonte. I don't really know what he is as a player, where he even went to school. But who bets on the ninth guy off the bench?
The only thing I really know about him is he's Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely
who bets on the brother?
Jonte Porter bets on
Michael
Jonte
might have
Porter.
actually been on his brother.
Yeah, it might have been Michael.
It might have been Michael.
Listen,
That would be something, wouldn't it?
listen, we just
Crazy
discovered
turn.
something huge. NBA, get on it and come back and credit us.
Credit the Lodge pod.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a fair number of NBA degenerate gamblers out there. So, maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's definitely something fishy going on
Something
there.
smells
for
and
sure.
it's not
Maybe-
Jack.
Smells, yeah.
Makey-
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Maybe Mikey Porter Jr. wanted to make a little investment and show his brother some love.
And
By taking
I
the
could be
under.
wrong,
By
but
taking the under.
I'm pretty sure he was pulled mid-game.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the NBA came down and said he's out right now.
yeah,
take
pretty
him
much,
out of the game.
yeah.
So for that to happen, they've probably got a smoking gun, I would imagine.
Look, he's only making $415,000 this year. He's
He
trying
needs
to.
How many
something.
minutes does he play? Because if he plays 15 minutes, obviously you say oh that's a rotational player, but 15 minutes is a lot of time to catch the ball and do stuff.
This year he's played
14
Yeah,
minutes. a night.
so pretty much on point. 14 minutes, 15 minutes. He can go break a few threes or do something or miss a few rebounds or make a bad pass just to make sure he gets the under.
Well, there's
that's a lot of time to do something. He's not the end of a bench guy. He's just a rotational.
There's a
sub.
video circulating now too of him banking in a three, and if you look at his face, he does not look pleased that he just made the shot. The assumption is he was trying to miss.
That
for
could
his
be
unders
though,
to hit.
a banked-in three, though. You know what I mean? Sometimes
It's
I'm
wow,
damn.
that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was
It's
terrible.
it's definitely a big reach, but given the circumstances, who knows?
It is funny.
Well, I
though.
mean,
just
let's-
imagine an NBA
I mean-
player being upset they made a shot.
It's always fun to speculate. Right?
Jonte, brother, if you're listening,
Let's
we got to
flip
be
the sh-
smarter, buddy.
Yeah, let's
we
flip the
got to be
Shohei
smarter.
in basketball
Let's-
because Gonzaga, Texas, what was it, 2019? He is no relation to any of those schools. Why is Shohei there?
Dude.
You could say it's for. Hey, he might say it's for Rui, but I don't know if they're that good of friends.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, a lot of weird stuff going on.
This is what
sports
happens.
gambling.
This is what happens when you just let the boys eat.
But also, I think this is what we thought would happen when we made sports betting more prominent and more legal in more states. Because now, even though it's illegal in California, it's because it's become such a wide. It's become very popular. Who knows? Shohei might just have an addiction.
Look, everybody's in the money making business.
Might. I said
That's
might.
right.
So, yeah, we got That's pretty much it. We got
Opening day.
MLB opening day. That's exciting.
Raise up.
NBA playoffs around the corner.
NHL playoffs around the corner.
When do the playoffs start?
April.
Second week of April, right?
Second week of April.
The NHL ones are April 20th.
Yeah.
Dude, the NHL like race for first place is actually insane.
Crazy.
It's like it's like 7
like 9
teams between
teams.
98 and
The
97
Rangers.
points. Yeah. I think the Rangers jumped ahead because of that OT win.
I thought the Bruins jumped ahead because they beat the Panthers, right?
Yeah, but the Rangers got an OT win against the Flyers last night, so I think they might have jumped ahead on top by 1 point.
Let me see.
But I could be wrong.
NHL playoffs is fun to watch.
Dude, the first round of the NHL playoffs
Yeah,
is like
Rangers in front.
Rangers have 100. There's
Yeah, they're in front by 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 teams within 3 points of first place
And
in
so
the league.
Dallas and Boston are 1 point back.
Yeah.
Yep. And the Rangers are the only one who's clinched on either conference.
Yeah, 100 points get you in. So next Bruins, Stars, Canucks win.
and
gets
Avalanche
them.
or
they can't get 3
Avalanche and
points.
Panthers pretty much have all clinched.
Honestly, I would prefer the Bruins do not win the President's Trophy again this year. So
Yeah.
let's give that to the Rangers.
Dude,
I
no,
think
but-
let
I think
them
like a
have it.
regular season trophy might be
if
the
you could
dumbest
be
thing ever.
if you could
in
be the
sports.
if you could be the 1 seed right now in the NHL playoffs in the East, like you want that because the second wild
tell me
card
the
spot is
standings.
not good.
Tell me the standings.
At Atlantic, so it's like they do 1, 2, 3. So the Atlantic is Boston, Florida, and Toronto.
Tell me the Metropolitan.
Metropolitan, New York, Carolina.
What's that third seed? What's
Philly.
that third seed? Oh yeah, go Flyers, go yours.
But yeah, dude, honestly, I'd rather see the Lightning play the Rangers than the Bruins because like the play of hockey that day.
Pasta back-to-back 100-point seasons right there. Baby.
Kucherov
Let's
going to
go.
be the league MVP.
I just gotta say,
who
I'm
just
not
had
a
a year?
I'm not a hockey fan. Like, playoff hockey, in my opinion, is the best.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
electric.
it's
It's
so.
fun.
The first round is so good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Especially if the
It
Flyers
is
can get
electric.
back.
I think the Flyers are going to get back.
We're back, baby. We're back. We cost the Eagles and Joel Embiid, but we're back.
It's not certain, but like they just got to win some games down the stretch.
Well, that OT loss, even though we lost,
You got a point.
that was a good point because that separated us from the Caps, and then we're 3 points up, I believe.
I think
I
you're
don't
1
know
point right now.
I don't know if the Caps won last night, so that could be different because I think we're 2 up.
But let's see. What
So
the
it might
Flyers-
still be 2.
Flyers get Montreal, Chicago. You got to win those games.
Got to win those 2.
Columbus, you got to win. Buffalo, you got to win.
We play New York again. The Rangers would be a good game to steal.
There's a lot of winnable games down the stretch for your Philly sports.
Yeah, the final 3 games are the Rangers, the Devils, and Washington. All 3 have some type of meaning for that team. That should be a good little.
Jack,
fire
you might get a
under their
conflict of interest one day in a Flyer Kraken Stanley Cup.
If it comes down to it, the Flyers all the way. But I love the Kraken just because I tried to get into hockey when they came in, and I bought a jersey, and I
Didn't
was
work.
like,
So you
holy
became
shit.
a Flyers fan.
And I was like, holy shit, hockey sucks. But Flyers hockey is amazing.
Alrighty.
All right.
So, yeah, we'll get out of here. P. Diddy's on the run, fled the country.
Yeah.
Zach Edey still
He's
sucks
just
at
gay.
basketball.
He isn't doing anything illegal.
Bridget. What the hell?
Oh my god.
I had to say. Did you not see?
Wrap it up.
Did you not see the picture of
It's
the
time
dildos
to
lined up by
go.
10 by 10 in
All right.
Diddy's
Da,
house?
da, da, da.
And, yeah, Bridge in Baltimore was run
Oh,
into.
can I honestly say something about that?
All right, keep it brief. You got
So,
30 seconds.
As somebody from Maryland, our prayers go out from the people in Baltimore. It was a terrible tragedy, terrible accident, and our thoughts are with you.
Very nice, Jack. Very nice. Good job, buddy.
That concludes the Lodge Pod.
Yeah, that's been the Lodge Pod Thursday, March 28th. If you stuck around, thank you. Don't cancel us.
Yeah, if not, I don't blame you.
All right. Sayonara.
Peace.